Nathan, you're one of the associate pastors at Enfield Evangelical Free Church. Can you tell us a little bit about your role in the church?
Yeah, so for the last 7 years or so, I've been responsible for the children's and youth work, but I've also been kind of involved in regular preaching and leading of the church here and pastoral stuff. So that's really what I've been doing here for the last 7 years.
But you're about to plant a new church. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So we're part of a borough. London's broken up into boroughs, as lots of you will know. And we're part of the borough of Enfield, which has 330,000 people in. We're hoping to plant a church in the bottom corner of that borough in a square mile. We've inherited a couple of old church buildings down there, and we are hoping to start a church in May next year, reaching a community of Edmonton, which is part of the borough of Enfield.
And I think Edmonton is a very culturally mixed community. Can you tell us a little bit about the people who live there?
Yeah, Edmonton is a real mixed community. I mean, there's people from all over the world that have gathered there. There's a couple of predominant people groups, so Turkish and Somali and Polish are the predominant groups, but there are 76 languages spoken in the local secondary school, so it just gives a feel of the diversity down there. It's also a very tough area, so there's lots of kind of gang crime and drug crime, and prostitution is still quite a problem there. It's been voted one of the 10 worst places to live in London, so it's a really tough community, but it's a community that desperately needs to hear about Jesus.
And are you going on your own, or do you have a team that are going to be joining you?
Now, very grateful to God. There's a couple of the elders of the church have also wanted to be part of this work. As a team, we're planning to move down there. So my family and a couple of the elders' families are seeking to move down there. We've already arrived, as is one of the other elders. But there's a whole crew. I think we're going to end up with about 18 adults and about 15 children who have all moved to the area to be part of that local community and share Jesus there.
And what are your initial thoughts on how you're going to reach the community with the good news of the gospel?
I think a large part of it is really being part of the community as much as we can be. I think with the diversity of people, there is probably as diverse ideas to reach them as there are kind of people there themselves, the people groups. But I don't think we have specific ideas as yet. We've got to work that through. But our primary aim is to just get to talk to as many people as we can about the Lord Jesus. One of the things we do think will help is teaching people English, because already, having been part of the community for 6 months, so many people struggle with their English, would love to learn English, and I really think that's a way that we can probably get contact with people down there.
And how is Enfield Evangelical Free Church going to be helping and supporting you in this work?
Well, ultimately, they are responsible for us. So Enfield Evangelical Free Church are the managing trustees for the buildings we've inherited down there. We want to see this very much as a partnership, so rather than an us and them, it's a we. We want to talk about that together. Enfield has been brilliant. People are really behind this. They're praying for it. The resources God has generously provided through the sale of one of the buildings we inherited. So financially we have enough to survive for a couple of years. But then ultimately I think EFC will be our supporting base for down there if we haven't grown significantly to support ourselves. But also I think that the main way is that they will be praying for this work.
And thinking about praying, how would you like the churches of the FIEC to be praying for you as you embark on this new initiative?
I think first of all, please pray for the people of Edmonton. We read those words in Luke's Gospel where Jesus looked at Jerusalem and how he said he longed to gather them. Jesus wept for Jerusalem. And I really feel that sense of, we've got to weep for the lost people of Edmonton. We've got to pray for them, that God in his kindness and his mercy would save them. But alongside that, please pray for the team. There's lots of people just going through the practicalities of moving to the area, adjusting to a new community. Lots of our kids have joined local schools, and they're not the easiest of schools to be part of. But please pray that God helps the team to settle, and that we make the most of the people that we live amongst, and share the gospel with our neighbours immediately and then those that we meet. And on another practical note, please pray for the building work. We're having the building renovated, and just to make it more habitable, because it didn't have any heating or toilets or anything like that. So please pray that work goes through smoothly and that we can make a habitable home to share Jesus with.
So what's the new church going to be called?
It's going to be called Silver Street Community Church. It was previously Tanner's End Free Church, but we've gone for Silver Street because that's the local train station. It's the main road that's nearest, and people know where Silver Street is, and it just makes it a kind of a geographical marker for where it will be based.